Here we want to be able to differentiate the function y equals the square root of x times x minus 2. So what we want to do first before we take the derivative of this function is we're going to rewrite this function. So we know that the square root of x, okay, is the same thing as x to the 1/2 power. So we're going to rewrite this as x to the 1/2 power times x minus 2. Okay, and then we're going to distribute. So if we're going to distribute, okay, then we would say, okay, well then if that's, we're going to take x to the 1/2 and then we're going to multiply that by x to the 1, right? Which is the same thing as x to the 1/2 times x to the 2/2. And remember, when you multiply with the same base, you add your exponents, so we get x to the 3/2. So when we distribute that, we get x to an exponent of 3/2 minus 2x to the 1/2. Okay, now distributing, we separated this to have two terms, and now let's take a look at the definitions that we have. So remember that the derivative of the constant function is 0, the derivative of the variable x is equal to 1 with respect to x, and then here is the power rule. So we're going to be using the power rule for these two terms. So to find the derivative of y, we would then say that this is y prime. Okay, so the value of n is 3/2, and this is x to the 3/2 minus 1 minus 2 times, this is 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 1. Okay, so now we have y prime with a derivative here of 3/2 x to the 3/2 minus 2/2, and then minus 2 times 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 2/2. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to see if I can find something in common once I be able to then, then do the operations on the exponents. So we have y prime, which is equal to 3/2 x to the 1/2, and this is minus, well, 2 times 1, I'm going to leave this as 2/2, and I'll show you why in a second here, and that's x to the then 1/2 minus 2/2 is negative 1/2. Okay, now what we can do is, and what they have in common is something we can factor out. Well, what we can factor out is the following. We can factor out a 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. So if we factor that out, we end up getting 1/2 x to the negative 1/2, and then what's left is 3x minus 2. Okay, or we can rewrite this in another way. Okay, we can say, all right, in the numerator we have 3x minus 2 divided by 2x to the positive 1/2, which is equal to 3x minus 2 over 2 times the square root of x. So we can say that y prime is either this or this result.